Swami Dayananda also used to. I'm just referring to them because I read their books more recently. But my notes from Swami Dayananda exactly say the same thing from the PRC days, which is a soap takes away the dirt and itself disappears. If the soap is a very cleaning agent, but if that sticks to your body, you don't want that. You want everything to go. So they all cancel each other. So yeah.
So I have a question on the same. So the last sentence, Atma Vidya Vijaya, of the 7th verse of Mandukya.
Yeah.
So in that, isn't the Atma not to be known but to be realized in the Turiya states? Just like Vedanta, you said is. That's the truth about Vedanta. It is.
Okay, so start your question all over again.
So that last sentence, Saha Atma
Savidya.
Vidya.
Yeah. Okay, I see now your point. Again, you're all asking questions that I was.
Question because
okay.
I'm not sure what it means.
So in the Mandukya Upanishad that we are studying, there is a verse number 7 which we are doing. Na antah pragyam, na bahish pragyam, na uvata pragyam, na pragyana ganam, na pragyam, na pragyam, abhyavahara matal, etc. It's a huge one. And in the end of that, it says, Saha Atma Savikyeya. That is the Atma and that should be known. Her question is, how can the Atma be known because it becomes an object, not a subject? So good question. And again, we will do this very systematically, that it should be understood that is Aupacharika. Aupacharika means that it is done as a process which will culminate in saying it is already known that you just didn't know that. So in some sense, Swami Khandananda has revealed this very beautifully. Darn it, I don't know why you asked me that question. That was going to be one of my quizzes. Anyway, since that you've asked it, I'll tell you. So Swami Khandananda says, does the Shastra reveal, does Atma Jnanam, the self-knowledge, give you moksha? This is the question. Does Atma Jnanam give you moksha? So, I might as well give you the answer now, and then you're actually, I don't know why we have to teach the rest of the course, it's all done. So, he says, the answer is no. And the answer is because Atma Jnanam, and so there he looks at the Shastra, which is, so you look at it 3 different levels: mother, daughter, and granddaughter. So if it is Shastra is the mother of Atma Jnanam, and Atma Jnanam is the daughter of Shastra. And Atma Jnanam has a daughter which says moksha. So that means, is moksha has a mother, and the mother is always more important, because without the mother, how can you have a child? So that means that moksha is the same word for Brahman, same word for Atma. That's what moksha means, as we will see. So that means that moksha is dependent on the Shastra and the Atma Jnana. Yes, it will be, because without Atma-jnanam, you cannot generate moksha. So Swami Akhandananda very beautifully explains, no. What Atma-jnanam and Shastra does not create Brahman, it eliminates abrahmatva. Brahma is already there, you don't have to create it. Because, just to go back to the same thing that I was saying earlier, you have to have an Atma before Shastra becomes effective. Atma comes even before Shastra. If there is no Atma, there is no Shastra. If there is no Atma, there is no self-knowledge. Everything is based on Atma. So you cannot generate Atma, it's already there. All you are doing is removing the Bhranti that I am not Atma. That's all.
It's taking more of a negation.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like the Nirvana should come.
Precisely. Neti neti iti adesha. Exactly.
In the Kaivalya Upanishad that says that if you think you know it is, then you don't know. If
Yeah.
you don't know it.
Precisely, that same
So
thing.
that same thing, you have to realize it. It has to be something that...
Please let's not use the word realize.
Okay.
There's no realization, no nothing. It is just removing errors in our life. That's all. You can use it. Swamiji used to be, Swami Dayananda used to be anathema to the word realization, so I also don't use it. But you can use it in the sense. But anyway, we will systematically, gradually clarify this. Because right now it looks like, no, really, I'm not sure this, that, or the other. All those doubts will, hopefully, by the end of this course, you will be able to see much more clear. Yeah. Yes.
So, I'm a little bit confused what Virak said about the ego or Abhiman.
Okay.
Because to me, when all this contradiction is defined, like Nantam, Bahitpragnam, and all those things, at the end, at the conclusion, it says that's the Atma. So, here do we really have an ego question? Because the Rishi is pointing that with all this conflicting characteristic, but still that's that.
No,
I don't know. That's what.
I'm not following your question, sorry.
Okay, so Atma is more like a conclusion remark after discussing all contradictory characteristics of Atma
Okay.
or Brahma.
Okay, so far I understand.
So, in Sanskrit, so is the third party.
Saha.
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 So, where is the ego coming? That's me.
So there's no ego. So the Saha is simply a pronoun which is saying, you are obviously the whole purpose of even studying Mandukya is to understand the Vastu. So it says that Vastu that you are studying, that is the name Saha, is you. It's Tattvamasi, it's exactly a Bhavakya. He says that you can also look at it, Saha, Soyam, Soham, Soham, Soham. It is exactly the same thing. So the so you can look at it in a couple of different ways. One we already discussed, that is simply a pronoun, that the one that you were looking at is really you, not other than you. That's one thing. You can also look Saha as Tat, as Ishvara. And as we will see, that Ishvara is not remote. It is right in front of me as me and as non-me. Both of non-me and me are both nothing but Brahman alone. So that Saha, which you originally thought was contradiction, is not a contradiction. You are the one who's powering it. And so that is another way of looking at Saha. I have to double check to make sure in Swami Akhandananda's commentary, and I can go back to my notes with Swami Dayanandji also, that which of these two is the primary, mukhya, and which of them is secondary.
Yeah, but I understood as a pointer only. It's take you there, right? All these characteristics, ultimately.
So it's just basically just saying, your life is full of, basically our life is full of errors. Everything that we do is erroneous. It's just like a dream is an error. Similarly, even the daily living is an error. You're ignoring the Atma and you're just acting in plays and so on. So it's all erroneous. And how do I know it's erroneous? Okay, let's look at it. What is an error? An error is temporary. An error is dependent, etc., etc. So those are all the na antapragyam, na bahishpragyam, etc. Okay, so that is not me, but who am I? What is the positive aspect of it? What I am not, I can understand, but what I am, so that is where it starts in the second part of it that we will see. What is the Atma itself? And positively, and essentially it is Brahman, it is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, and so on. Yeah. No more questions from Mandukya.
Today you mentioned is that it is referring to my intrinsic Sarupa Satchidananda?
Yeah.
The same thing.
It's the same thing.
That's what Vedanta is.
Yeah.
So I thought your question was a trick question when you asked that am I alive?
Yeah,
so,
the question was,
I mean, the alive portion also, it's a Chit Swarupa. Why can't it be Sat Swarupa, I am, and then Chit Swarupa, alive? Because there is no other Chit Swarupa really, there is only...
No, not in. Aliveness is not Chit.
yeah,
Because there is nothing that gives you life.
It has the prana.
As a prana, I but when you say, am I alive, there is only source of Chaitanya.
No, I know what you're asking, but the thing is, this is a tricky question in that sense. You are also the same person who's not alive. You can never be dead. You can never be alive. You are what you are. Sometimes you take on aliveness, sometimes you take on nothing. And so to say that I'm alive only, to say that I'm alive is again the same thing about immanence and transcendence. You cannot be alive unless you are, but you can be without being alive.
But the only source of life being as Chit Swarupa is the same source.
No, that's true. That's true. You can even say it is Satswarupa.
It's Satswarupa, of course, I am.
So everything, and we will go through this in very detail, that really the world borrows its qualities from me alone. This is a very, very important and detailed commentary that we will hopefully see, where this is what is called the Vivarta. Vivarta. So Vivarta means that it would appear to be something without really being that, but it can lose its meaning. Exactly like Anyway, this we will go through in more detail. Not exactly, but something like the ornaments in a gold. So the ornaments, the ornamentation of the gold or any other metal for that, of that matter, for that matter, is a vivarta, because any change that occurred in the gold is not permanent. It reverts back to itself. So being alive is a vivarta. It is not a parinama. It is a parinama for the body, but not for the Atma. The Atma, it temporarily assumes the status of being alive in this life, but it never really changes itself to be that.
So I understand that, but as a Chaitanya Swarupa, can we say there's a Chaitanya of when it's up Chaitanya?
So I think what I would say is hold off those doubts. Don't fight it, but wait. When we define Chit Swarupam, Chaitanyam, and Jada, all things hopefully will clarify that. We can revisit the same question if you still have.
I mean, just to expand on that, like when you say, and by the way, I answered it wrong in that not too much question. But now, because when you say I am alive, that alive refers to a body, so that's an upadhi, and so that's where I feel like that's an incorrect statement.
Yeah, it refers to prana, really.
Yeah.
It's
So
a part of the
right.
Buddha.
And like you said, if you said only alive, I'm only a living being.
Yeah. So I think even the question that I had recently sent out.
He asked the same question. You asked the same question for everyone to write down.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, if sometimes even the question is not clear, like the recent one that I sent to you, which said, why did Ishvara create all the problems? Okay, so a couple of the people, when I answered it online, one person, not a couple of people, one person said that if you had asked why were problems created, I would have answered it differently, which is true. So my question was, why did Ishvara create problems? So the question also can be rephrased. Not all questions are perfect. Yes. See, Sujata, you were missing all these online classes. You're not attending any of those, are you? You don't have time. She's busy herself so much.
I'm studying other things too, though. I am studying other things, but
I know.
the timing doesn't work, and it's not the same to listen to the recordings afterwards, sometimes.
Actually, I'll discuss one point in the upcoming classes. I might as well just ask you some questions. I'm sorry. Virag?
No, I was going to say you asked. No, I don't ask Monica questions, but I have some more. So if you permit, I can ask more.
Yeah, but I think keep it to what we are discussing. I think that Mandukya, a lot of people are not attending, so
I'll skip my question for now.
yeah. So I had a kind of a thing I wanted to ask you. Just some ideas in my mind. So we have two classes going on, Saturday and Tuesday. What I find is that the Saturday class is more heavily attended than the Tuesday class. Generally speaking, the Saturday class has about 80 to 100 people eventually. Not not while they were streaming, but they can listen to it later. But I see the stats on it. And 60% of that is in the Tuesday class. So it's about 50 to 60 people. So there's less. Okay. So what I'm thinking, one idea came to me that I will continue at the Saturday class at a fixed time. But the Tuesday class, what I might do is not have it at a fixed time, but just record on my own. Okay? And I have discussed it with a couple of people. I just had a back and forth with Kuldeep Tanwar. So Kuldeep thought it was a good idea. So what my thinking is this. This is what I want to do. I want to have, other than the Mandukya class, which will continue because we have lots to do, there's no change on that for the time being. The other class, what I will do is, I will take up topics that are very specific to something. Like for example, I can give a class on Gayatri Mantra. Just on Gayatri, there's a lot to say. Very beautiful. I can take passages from Taittiriya Upanishad that are just a small segment and record maybe about 5 or 10 classes. And then that topic is finished. And I can do that at my own time. It doesn't have to be streamed online because it's on Tuesday night and not too many people are able to do that. And I can do that on my own. So that's number 2. Of small segments. Secondly, on my own. The third thing I'm thinking of is that I would like to make sure that more people get a chance to hear it than our own students. Because right now, if you look at who listens to it, are the people that really know me. But other people don't get to know some interesting things. And the word Arsha Vidya doesn't strike in people's minds. This is not something people understand. So maybe I can start a kind of a name like Vedanta, or I don't know, practical Vedanta or experience or something like that, think about it, and just promote it as a podcast independently.
You should put it on YouTube and Instagram, not just on our own website. But it should.
It's already is on YouTube.
Yeah, it should be on YouTube because, like you said, the Arsha Vidya Gurukulam or related to just, especially long classes where in one class only a very small part is covered, and currently the Tuesday class is a continuum of the Saturday class, so somebody needs to attend both of them to get the full. So if it's an independent topic and can
independent topic, that's what I'm thinking of. Independent topic and much smaller.
Much smaller.
Kuldeep was saying that maybe 20-25 minutes because people don't have that much time to stick to it. Maybe you go for a walk or something, you have 20-25 minutes. But then the question is that if I do it on YouTube, there'll be 2 channels. One will be Arsha Vidya and one will be whatever.
I don't think you need to change the channel, to be honest. I think you just need different titles so that when somebody searches for Vedanta, particularly, it comes up. So all you need is changing the title of either the group itself or individual videos.
The podcast, the series of podcasts that you do on a topic.
Okay.
Like for example, so you can say Essence of Mahamrityunjaya Mantra and do it around Shivratri time or
correct. Something like that.
And then explain, Mahamrityunjaya Mantra in 3 classes, 3 25-minute sessions or 2 sessions.
Yeah, you could
because
even
people take those topics up around.
You could even, expand on Purnamada Purnamidam.
Yeah.
What does it really mean?
Or the Shanti Mantra.
Shanti Mantras and so on.
Don't understand the Shanti Mantra in each Upanishad there is a Shanti Mantra.
So we can do that on YouTube based on, I'll talk to you about that. And then perhaps on Instagram we can also do it there.
I like the idea of podcasts also. So because I listen to podcasts, so I don't know. Because it's a continuous thing, you can listen to it anytime and it's private, like you can download it. And supposing you have 5 episodes related to a certain topic, I could get all 5 of them, and then I don't have to go and look on YouTube or somewhere else in a vague place.
So let me understand what your suggestion is. Sorry, say that again.
If you could create podcasts, and supposing there is a topic you took and you need 5 sessions for it, not only one, that podcast would have 5 sessions.
So okay, I that's what I'm also thinking of. But
and
that
I can
how
download all of those 5, and I don't need to go and search each time. I can set it up as the next will follow. So today I go for a walk for 20 minutes. I listen to the 1 episode. Next day I can continue on the second instead of looking for it each time. So I find that useful.
How is it different than the current YouTube?
Even YouTube
You can do the exact same
You
thing.
don't need video. This audio.
I know, you don't need the
Yes.
video, just audio podcast, you don't have to worry about it.
It's
A lot
also
more people are familiar with the podcast.
got it.
It's just audio file you used to upload in Google Drive. Instead of that, have a podcast channel and then
So just a podcast channel which is audio only.
just
Audio
audio.
only of those.
And then, you know, I sometimes download these for like a flight. I don't want to buy the
Oh yeah.
And
The
not
Wi-Fi
have to
that
worry
they're
about
selling.
You don't need Wi-Fi.
So then I will just download it on my iPhone, wear my headphones, and then
When
just
you
listen
want,
for an hour and a half.
you
and stuff.
can, message. Yeah.
You know, the other thought that I'm really warming up to, I would like to talk about Swami Akhandananda's Hindi books, and perhaps a mixture of, because I'm not that fluent in Hindi anymore, but I can probably rev it up and teach the whole thing in Hindi. But what I could do is 80% Hindi and 20% English.
I would love that.
Which is okay.
You know, which should be okay. So I was even going to write to the Akhandananda's people in India and say, I would like to do this, if they can even promote it, do they mind it if I do it? You know, all of that.
He's very popular.
Very
I
popular.
think one request we can make them is put more videos of their lectures on YouTube. Why we don't have too many lectures from either Swami Akhandandaji or his Sishyas?
No, Swami Akhandanda's courses lectures are there, but they are very poor quality. They were recorded in
Tape recorder.
tape recorders.
And easy to fix with AI. It's very easy to fix.
No, but those are there. If you look at his Brahmasutra Bhashyas,
It's there.
he's got like 65 of them,
Yeah.
and I've listened to about maybe 20. And you know, the other thing I found out was that their people that transcribed those ones did such a good job that I can get everything by reading instead of straining my.
But then I listened to a few of them. The issue is the background noise, right? It's like there is a
Background noise, and I think even his own pronunciation sometimes. So a combination is not easy. Not easy.
the background noise is easy to remove with AI. I think I've not tried it, but I think that with the technology we have, that should not be true.
Okay.
But the language thing, I'm not sure.
Anyway, so I'm
there is
really.
So there is a series of podcasts which Ramana Maharshi, so he himself has not recorded them, but when people used to come and talk to him and ask him questions, those were all written at some point in time. Now they've converted them. There's somebody with clear diction who speaks them out, and they're converted into short broadcasts, right? And of course, there are a lot of followers of Ramana Maharshi, and they're quite popular. So something of that nature would also be nice.
It's all audio,
It's
right?
all audio.
I think that is a good idea. I hadn't thought of disbanding because there's no need to have a video. If people want to see me, they can see me on the YouTube or something. I think that is a good idea.
Or you can start with a picture of you and then just do a podcast, or entirely give away the video part of it, because then the file size also become smaller if it's audio.
So several thoughts running through my mind. I really want to expand Hindi because it's so funny. I tell you, this is something that Swami Akhandananda. Let me just actually end this with this thought of this, this talk about the Hindi and so on. This is a very important topic. See, I think we have a few minutes, so let me finish that topic and then we will disband. So, Swami Akhandananda actually points out somewhere, it became clear to me that wasn't before, what is the significance of doing puja? Like we do with Dakshinamurti, and do also chanting. He says, there's a section somewhere, I forget where it is, I think it's in Drisya Viveka book, where he talks about the importance of alambanam. Alambanam. So he says, if you look at how you think in your life, you think only in a language and in a form that you are familiar with, which you have been, in fact, your dreams will come based on your recent experiences. Some will come from the others, but they will be heavily influenced by what you did in the last week or 10 days. This is also called vasanas in that sense. But anyway, what he was pointing out was that examine your mind and you will see that your thoughts depend on what you are involved with. This is why even after you have come back from the office, your thoughts are still on, oh, I should have said that manager didn't really treat me well, this or the other. So you are still living in the world of the office, even though the office is gone. Okay? Similarly, he says that for a sadhaka, you have to start putting these ideas in your mind so that your continuous thoughts follow those ideas that you put in your mind. So the reason I'm talking about Hindi is, I have found myself in the last 6 months, and actually this is not all Maheshanandaji, this is all these Hindi podcasts that we were discussing at dinner time with Vinita. I am listening to so many Hindi podcasts from India that my own thoughts are now in Hindi. They are not in English anymore. Honestly, this is how it was so funny. I thought, this is so wonderful. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that.
So, to build a little bit on what you're saying, so the last 3 or 4 years, kind of from COVID time, I had started listening to a lot more content, spiritual related content that's available on YouTube and podcasts, etc. And by and large, I find that I enjoy the podcasts or the lectures or even the Vedantic lectures that are done in Hindi. The reason being that many of these Upanishads and other texts are written in Sanskrit. Even the Puranic stories are written in Sanskrit. So by the time you take Sanskrit and do it in Hindi, it's already one step removed from its native language in which it was written, and the expressions were so beautiful. So you can still capture some of that in Hindi. By the time you come to English, the language is so imprecise for that.
I found the same thing. So
that I
completely agree with that.
And then also I found myself much more gravitating towards listening to the people who were native Hindi speakers, because the diction and the way they presented it was so much more beautiful than.
So I think that the study of Vedanta, if possible, in vernacular languages is much preferred. In Telugu, in Tamil, and so on. I just had a long session with our latest addition to the Bay Area, Varalakshmi, and encouraged her to really start classes in Tamil. So we had a long conversation and she is thinking about it.
Her book, The Jewels of Vedanta, she's written is also in Tamil.
Yes. So anyway, let's do this. Let's end the class with a small chant from Swami Dayanandji's time. And then tomorrow, if you have any bhajan singers, please, we will do that. But just for today, just a small chant. This is one of Swamiji's favorite bhajans. So just repeat after me. Jai Jai Govinda Jai Hari Govinda 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 Jai Hari Govinda Jai Hari Govinda Jai Jai 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 Govinda Jai Hari